Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017 with the Rude Man. We're back on the Australian map, Broad Acres, and I've got several things I was kind of doing, just catch up stuff till we get into another harvest. I brought the truck over from the meat factory and I loaded up 11 cattle because I had 211. And so I put 11 in the truck, and I'm going to take this truck over to the meat packing place. Interesting, look at their Brahmas. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So we're heading over to the meat packing place. In the meantime, I'm collecting grass there to put in the silage maker. And I'm still mowing. Well, I'm done mowing. I'm actually picking up the grass on field number 1. It run into the next day, and I still haven't got it all picked up. It's taken forever. You'll notice that I'm starting to get some wool piled up there. The pigs are making pigs, so we got bacon coming. And I'm trying to figure out this meat packing place. I think I've got it kind of figured out. I'm just not quite sure if it's working correctly. So you pick up the animals and you take them to the packing shop, the packing warehouse, and you drop them off. They have to be quarantined, and so they go into a quarantine part of the corral. And they make their way over to the other side of the building to where they're quarantined and ready to be processed. Then you have to take them back out and put them actually into the warehouse. So I'm trying to figure out how do you know that. I'm not quite sure if it tells you. And I tried it earlier and I dropped off some cattle. And they didn't show up in the pen. I didn't see them at all in the pen, so I didn't know whether it was working or not. As far as I know, it didn't work. So I'm heading back with another load, and I'm going to drop them off and see if we actually see the cattle. Now, the problem was I was using a piece of equipment that wasn't made for this map, with the production of this map. And it says right on the manual that you got to use the equipment that was made for it, or it won't work. So I'm using this truck here, which was made for it. Where in the heck am I? All right, I'm kind of heading the right way, I guess. It's just going to take me some time to get there. So I'm not quite sure. Somebody's asked me if the version of this map has come out where they were taking the collision off the fences. I don't know. I haven't been to this Facebook page where they do all of this. I hate Facebook. I just do. It's all I can do to go over and look. Anyway, I don't know if it's out yet. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get it. The only reason I would get it is somebody told me that he's actually making the gates wider. If he's making the gates wider, that would affect me. The fences don't bother me. It's not the fences. It was the problem with the gates not being wide enough to get some of my equipment through. And the very, 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 very most annoying thing for me was these signs. The signs, like the signs right here on this crossing. You can't get a road train through there because you can't turn and get around those signs. You get hung up on them. And you definitely, with a road train, can't drive into town. Not very easily, because you can't get around the corners without getting tied up on the signs. because every sign has collision on it, and the first trailer goes by, but the second one hits the sign, and you can't swing wide enough, to get through town. That was the worst problem. The fences were no issue at all for me. And even the railroad crossings aren't a big deal. I can cross the tracks. That's not a problem. Somebody told me I'm driving on the wrong side of the road. For Australia, I probably am. But I'm American. And I'd probably get killed in the first 5 minutes of driving in England or Australia. So the truck's kind of slow, only does 51 miles an hour. That's okay. It's an animal hauler. It's not supposed to be a speed demon. Trying to figure out what the license plate is. As a matter of fact, I think I've got one of my road trains at the store because my animals have eaten all their food. So I had to buy some more food from the store. And I brought one of my road trains in so I wouldn't have to make a dozen trips. And I'll be darned if I just almost couldn't get into town with the road train. There's just too many stupid signs that have collision on them. And I'm not trying to be critical of the map. I love the map, but it's just an issue if you're using a road train, which for the size of the map you'd want to. Alright, that's not where I want to go. That's where I want to go, but actually I want to go in the other end. Yeah, well, I'll go over and check and see if I've got my seed loaded yet. Or not my seed, I'm sorry, my feed for the pigs and the cows. That's what I was doing. Okay, here's the slaughterhouse here. So, if you look at the pens on the left here, that's where you put the animals to quarantine them. So, let me see if I can do that. Flip this thing around. Alright, so let's see here. What's happening? Why can't I hit this thing? It says, oh no, it did, but now it doesn't. Let me back up a little bit. Do I still have the animals? I don't. They unloaded. Okay, it didn't say they did. But I don't have the animals anymore. Oh, okay, so... Well, let's look at this now. I just saw them there, and now they're over on the other side. It's only one. There's only one. So one cow evidently represents all your cows, I guess. I don't know. Let's run over that way and see. So, they go into quarantine side... And when they're done being quarantined, they show up on this side over here. Now you see there's 3 loading stations there. There's sheep, cattle, and pigs. In that order, I think. No, I'm wrong. The first one on the left is pigs. The one in the middle is cattle. And the one on the right is sheep. So let's back into the cattle one and see if we can pick our animals up again. The problem was I didn't see any animals in the pen, so I didn't think it worked. And now I see one animal in the pen, but is it quarantined yet? And if it isn't, how long does it take? I don't know. So, and that's why we're checking this out. Let's just see. Alright. Let's straighten this thing up a little bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, I've got my 11 cows. They're back in the truck. Alright, so they must be done and ready. So once you've picked them up out of the quarantine area, you bring them over and you drop them off in this first station right here. Okay. You drop them off here. This is the input. There's the trigger. Let's see what happens. So there they went. They went in. So let's look at the counter. The counter says 11. I had 11 cattle. And then over here, this is where your product comes out. And so it's your meat and your sausage. So there isn't, it's going to take time, I suppose, for that to process. They go through the process and your stuff starts coming out here. So with that, let's get on to other things. We'll come back and check on this later. There it is. Okay, so I've got 3,300 of something and 60 of something else. All right, so we'll check on that a little bit later. Let me find. Well, let's see. It was one of my road trains right here. Okay, I had this guy picking up pig food, and it looks like he's done. By the way, this is version 2 of this road train. This is the newest version. They have a new version out, and and this is it. I don't know what the differences are. I didn't read it. I just downloaded it. I'm assuming that there were some improvements made, but I don't know what they are. And but I didn't have any problem with the other set. So sometimes I won't update a mod. A lot of times a mod will update and they'll add things that they think are cool, take things away, and sometimes I've found that the thing I liked most about the mod gets taken out when it's updated. So usually if a mod is doing what I like, and if I like what it does and how it operates, I don't always jump right out and get the newest version. Sometimes I'm just happy to keep with what I've got. You know, improvements aren't always an improvement. You know, updating a mod doesn't always make it better, is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it'll take away something that you liked, a feature you liked. So let me see if I can get this second trailer. There's third trailer in here. Look, oh, I've grabbed a hold of the plow somehow. There, I'm going to leave it right there. Now, here's the problem I was telling you about. See, going out that gate, you see that sign out there? I got this road train through this gate okay, but not from where I was coming from. I was coming from this side of town, and I had one hell of a time getting here. Because see the signs there? Look at the signs right there. See those signs? I was coming down the road right here with the road train, and you got all these curves. You've got trees to contend with, so you have to swing as wide as you can here without hitting that lamp post. You have to swing as wide as you can, and then there's a sign right there. So you have to cut way over here and try not to hit those trees on the left with your trailers. And then try to get around this corner. I had a hell of a time. I got hung up on both of these two signs here with my trailers, trying to get in here. I came as wide as I could on this side of the road over here, and I finally got through with some banging around and dragging those signs down. And then I got down here. I barely made it through this crossing here, and I saw that sign there, and I said, there's no way I'm going to make this corner into that. So I had to drive all the way down here. There's another sign. I couldn't make that corner either. So I had to come all the way out here into this, turn a little bit to get around that tree. I went this way through these trees as wide as I could here, flipped around like this, trying to avoid all these trees, and I got wide here again like I did the first time, and came around like this to avoid that sign. I hung over here as hard as I could, and then when I got here, I went at an angle, and I went like this in, hoping that the trailers wouldn't hit the side of that, and I made it in. It's just a pain. You literally can't use a road train because of the signs. So anyway, I made it. I made it, and I'll be fine. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of frustrating. But anyway. So I don't know how to get your stuff out of there. I don't see anything. I guess you just pull in and it puts it on a truck. Just carry on. Let's go over and see. I don't want you thinking I'm just pissing and moaning about everything. I'm not. I'm having fun. It's just kind of frustrating. Let's see. Let's stop him because he's not done, clearly. Why did he not pick up that? Well, it looks like he missed the first headland around. Okay, we can fix that. Oh, what's this? What? He missed half the field. The grass is going to grow back up before I can get it picked up. I might have to get two forage wagons out here. I don't think this is the right way. I think it's this way. I think he missed this headland here. Let's see what this will do for him. There's an awful lot of grass here, just an awful lot. I was picking the grass up here out of this and hauling it over to make silage. So let's continue doing that. And then all the harvesting is done. What else do I need to do? Oh, the milk. Now, if you remember, you have to be really careful because there's two pickups here. I was trying to get milk, and if you remember, I got chocolate milk. In other words, I picked up the slurry. So this right here is the slurry trigger. I thought it was milk because I pulled back in here, and there's the milk, thing. So you got to be careful. You got to avoid that one and get over to this one over here. That's the milk. So what I did was, it was easy to assume it was all milk because look, there's a milk tank, there's a milk tank, there's a spigot, there's another spigot, but that is not milk unless it's chocolate milk. Oh, this guy's got a computer in here. What's on the monitor? Hey, that's sweet. I like that. That's cool. Good job. All right, so anyway, I got backed in. I just went wide. When I backed in, wide and swung it in hard. And I'm picking up milk. So we're going to let that fill up, and then we'll take the milk to be processed. The other thing I was doing was I was picking up the poo, and I was trying to figure out where the poo went. I want to make fertilizer, and on the map that I was looking at, it shows Let's see if I can find it again. Storage. Okay, the storage area near the animals is this one. And it shows supposedly you're supposed to be able to drop the manure off here, but I don't see how. Because I don't see a trigger here. So I don't know how you're supposed to do it. According to the map I'm looking at and the instructions, you're supposed to have an input of manure here, but I don't see it. I don't see it unless I just don't see it. Yeah, there's supposed to be an input. You're supposed to be able to put manure in this thing and pick it up here. I'm just missing something, I guess. Because I don't see it. Huh. Is there one right there? Oh, hell, what am I doing? Oh, I missed it. Dang it all. Alright, where's my poo machine? Do I have the poo machine in a slot? I don't. There it is. Let's put this in. Let's see. Let's put it in 4. That's usually where I put all my farm equipment. The on the farm equipment. Let's turn the triggers off here. Yeah, see, you're supposed to be able to drop manure right here, and then it makes fertilizer. But I don't see the input. It's supposed to be, according to the map I'm looking at, the picture, it says input manure, output fertilizer. But I don't see the input. It shows it over on this side here, but I don't see it. And there's no trigger. I'm not hitting a trigger. Darn it, I just want some fertilizer. I just want to make some fertilizer. Let me get in a little close here and see if a trigger pops up. You know, there's no collision on that. There is on that. There is on the tank. And I don't see... Yeah, I just don't see where it's supposed to go. I'm looking at the manual, and there's a picture of it, and it shows the input here, but I don't see it. It's just not there. Alright, let me look at the other one. At the middle station, I'm facing away from the mic, so it's going to sound kind of weird. All right, hang on. I'm going to go to the center one, the one in the center of the map. That's the main one. Let me go to that one. Whoa. And let me try something here, because this one shows, oh man, I got myself stuck in here, didn't I? This one shows the same kind of thing over here. See those things right there? That's what it is. Right there. This right here, I think. You're supposed to put manure in here and you get fertilizer out. Now, see, this is what I was looking for on the other farm. Let's see what happens. Is there some kind of a... Right there. Okay, there's a counter. Now, see, this is what I was looking for on the other one, and I didn't find it. It'd be more convenient over there. That's where the cattle are. But anyway, all right. So we've got rid of that manure. Let's get this guy back to the cow farm. Just gonna park it here for now, and let's see about the milk. See if the milk's ready. Looks like it's full. So we're heading back into town with the milk. There's a dairy there. We can turn this milk in there. Nice and quiet inside the cab. So I'm pleasantly surprised. I got the DLC for Farm Sim 2017, the Platinum Edition, and I'm always leery because they don't ever seem to give you your money's worth. In my opinion, and for me, because I want more content, and usually the thing they give you is more worthless equipment. I bought the Big Bud thing. I haven't used anything in it because I don't like any of it, and it's just, to me, it was wasted $15 or whatever it was. You know, I want more content, and so I was pleasantly surprised that we have the sugar cane, and that's nice. Now, a lot of people say, well, we already had sugar cane because there's people that have made sugar cane mods. That's true, but they've done some improvements on the game a little bit. You're able to go into the farmhouses. That's kind of cool. I've always wanted that. If you kind of role play a little bit like I do, people will question the fact that I'm role playing because they say, "Well, you're not playing like it's real life." Well, it isn't real life. It's a game. I play it to have fun, and so you play whatever way you want to play. But I do like to kind of role play a little bit, so I think it'd be kind of nice. I've always said this. Anybody who's watched a lot of my videos have heard me say it more than once, that I'd like to be able to go into the farmhouse so that at the end of the day I can go in and have some dinner and have a piece of pie and relax. Well, you've never been able to do that, so now you can go into the buildings. That's kind of nice. There's some other things about it that are kind of... I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. The first thing I thought of when I looked at it, I said, oh my God, it looks like this map is made out of Play-Doh because the ground is orange, and somebody said, no, it's red. Well, it looks orange to me. And so I never argue too much about people and colors because it's my opinion that none of us see a color exactly the same. You know, orange to me, red to you. You know, people don't see the same. And how are you supposed to know what another person actually sees? You know. So if somebody says it's red, well, maybe they're seeing it as red. You know, to them. I'm not going to argue that point. I think it's, you know, but to me it looks orange. So I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, it looks like Play-Doh exploded on the map. After about 5 or 10 minutes of gameplay, I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of cool. So anyway, I'm having fun with it. The map is really small. Yeah, I can run from point A to point B and be there in seconds. I like that. So I'm having a lot of fun on it. The only problem is I decided to play it without any mods. Now, that's not entirely true. I'll clarify that. I don't have a lot of crazy mods. What I have on it are some utility mods. And some of the mods, you know, that I've got on it, see, if you look up at the top of the map here, or the screen, you'll see that information stuff. I have those kinds of mods that give me a little bit of information. You know, they're not harvesters that have 10, 100,000, you know, volume capacity. I don't have any mods like that on there, and I don't think I'm going to put any on. I'm trying to play with the equipment that came with the map. At least for the first playthrough. And I'll be tired of the map. Probably never play it again. But I may have to revise that, and the reason being is I'm hearing from other people that to do the sugarcane, and the cedar on the sugarcane is one row at a time. I think I've missed a dairy. And I know that it took me a couple of hours to seed that first field with the cedar. And the harvester is one row at a time, unless you buy the big one, which is 2 rows at a time. And it'll take you a couple hours to do that. I know some people that are playing multiplayer on it. They had 3 people working on the harvest. It still took them an hour and a half to do a sugarcane harvest. All right, where is the dairy? Where am I? I think I've missed it. I either missed it or I drove right by it, one of the two. Alright, tell you what. Let me find... There's my helicopter on the roof. I landed on the roof. That's funny right there. Alright, anybody see the dairy? Probably drove right by it. It was probably over there. Alright, there's vegetables and stuff. It's some kind of brewery. There's the BGA. I'm right here. There's the bakery. There's the winery. Let me see if I actually passed right by it. I bet I did. I was bullshitting. Pardon my French. Alright, so there's the animal sell place where you sell your animals. There's the dairy. I drove right dang by it. Alright, fine, I did. I drove right by it. Silly me. I was going to land on the roof again and I missed it. Alright, let's go get our truck. And get turned around if we can. A single trailer's not bad. You can get around. It's the road trains you have trouble with. And it wouldn't be bad if all the sell points weren't in town. I think I need a heftier truck. This thing's kind of sluggish with this tanker. I'm losing daylight again. Holy smokes. I'm in day 4 already. And I haven't done anything. One harvest. Still debating whether to keep that other plow. I've got more plows than I know what to do with. Of course, it'll come in handy when I get, more property. That's going to be a while, though. Property is really expensive. I don't like driving on the wrong side of the road. Alright, how do I get in this place? Right here. Another sign to get around. Dairy farmers. Okay, so we come in here, we go over the scale. And 67, did it say? Ooh, look at that sunset. Pretty. Okay, so where do we deliver? Okay, there's an output of stuff. There's another scale over yonder. Anybody see the... Is that it there? Huh. Yeah, well, it looks like there is a trigger there. Let's see if we can hit that tank right there. Not literally. Come on. Okay, now what are we getting for that? Let's see. Is there a counter anywhere? What do we have here? Nothing that I can see. There's something here. What's that? Oh, there's a spigot here too. Okay, I wonder if there's more than one place to drop stuff off. It's still doing that. I'm not getting any money, so I'm assuming that this tank is for processing. I wonder if this spigot over here is for actual sales. If you want to just sell. Yeah, there's a trigger there. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing, but I think if you want to sell it, you hit here. If you want to make a product, then, because something's coming out here. Yeah, that's what's happening. Okay, I think that's the case. When you offload here, you're making a product, and I think if you're offloading here, you're actually selling the product. We can test that theory in the next trip, but that's what I'm thinking. So we're learning where stuff goes, what you do with it, and I'm still not entirely sure what that distribution deal is. Is it just storage? Is that what it is? And there's a place here that takes everything, and I can't remember what it's called. It's called different things on different maps. I can't see it because there's so much stuff there. So, but there's a place that you pull into, and everything goes in it, and it's like well, I don't know what they call it, distribution center. On one map I've seen it's a logistics center. On another map I've seen it's just a warehouse. Oh shoot, I gotta watch out. There's a speed trap here. I think it's up ahead here, but I get caught every dang time, and it's like $1,000 to $1,500 or whatever Australian people use for money. I don't know if they use a dollar or if they use a pound or what their form of money is. I don't think they're into euros, but yeah, see, there's the distribution center, but whatever they call it, is that greenish color thing. And I'm just curious. I'm still not entirely sure what happens there. I think it's just a storage site. One size fits all, and you put everything there, and then you can grab what you want when you want it. That's what I'm thinking for product. Just like your farm silo is where you store your grain until you get a great demand, I'm thinking that is where you put all your products that you make, your butter and your milk and your cream, whatever it is you're making. I think you store it there until such time as it goes to market, and you just pick it up and head to market with it. That's what I'm thinking. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, my crops are coming up. Well, they should. It's been a day and a half. I've spent a day and a half dinking around, trying to figure out how to do stuff on the map. Let me jump out right here and run in there and check and see how we're doing. 85%. Now, here's something that I am curious about. In 2017, when it first came out, we had the option, when you set up your farm, you had the option to do periodic plowing and fertilizing. Now, the periodic plowing you can turn off and on, and all that means is that periodically you need to plow the field to get better yields. About once every 3 harvests, you'll have to plow. Now, the fertilizing was with every harvest, you can choose to do 1 fertilization or 3. Now, the question at the very start of 2017 was, why would I want to do either one? And we were told that if you did 3 fertilizations, you would get a higher yield. Well, that was not the case. I know for a fact, because I, myself, and several other people tested that theory by doing it both ways, and there was no difference. And if there was a difference, at one point, I think the 1 fertilization I got more yield than I did out of 3. I've heard through the grapevine that not with this new DLC, but a couple of patches ago, that they've fixed that, And it now is the case that if you do 3 fertilizations, you will get a better yield. That's what I'm being told. So I may switch over and start doing that to get better yields and see if that's the case. I just didn't see the point in it because it's a lot of work doing 3 fertilizations. You know, if it doesn't work, if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. I had to kind of laugh about it because this is something that that Giant said, you know, hey, we're giving you the opportunity to do 1 or 3 fertilizations. If you do 3, you're going to get better yield. Okay. All this time later, they finally fixed it so it did what it was supposed to do. That was, I don't know. It just seems kind of not right for a game company, you know. That seems to me like that should have happened in 1 or 2 patches early on to be fixed. Well, as you heard the sign that said my swoosh that says I'm to the end of my time here. I hope you had fun. If you did, give it a like, share it with a friend, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you back on the farm in the next episode. In the meantime, everybody, happy farming.